It's hard to tell what DB is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to begin the award ceremony. Please gather around up on the front. Where your commanding general, General Brooks is. Thank you very much.
So I first met Wendy several months back at a Buffalo Soldier event at the Hilton Garden Inn. And Tony was a guest speaker at that event, and Wendy was the first lady up at the head table. And I knew from that point on who made the decisions in the family. And it has become evidently clear that she is the first lady of the Dedmond family, obviously. But Wendy and I actually served together in Eastern Europe just a few short years ago. And so when Wendy was serving in the military, she was a part of Team 21, that is the 21st Theater Sustainment Command over in Germany. And we did a lot of work together in one of my former positions, and just great teammates all around. But since she has retired, she has had to maintain 3 balls of energy here while Tony leads the 30th Air Defense Brigade. She's obviously done it flawlessly. They're going to have an opportunity here in the near future. I'll talk about the accomplishments of the brigade on the field, but they'll have an opportunity to reunite here after all the ceremony and pomp and circumstance here today. But for the family, thank you for coming in, sir. As I said, thank you for your service, and ma'am, thank you for making the trip as well. And for the boys, I guess we got a tournament coming up in Colorado pretty soon, so Dad will get to hang out with you there. So we have a few tokens of appreciation that we want to say thank you for your support here. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to the narrator. Go ahead.
Attention to orders. The Meritorious Public Service Medal is being presented to Mrs. Wendy Dedmond for extraordinary service to
member, and I appreciate Rhonda and Tony for being here to support him in this endeavor, and then the kids as well. Not that they had a choice, but I'm glad that we all came here to support that. So thank you.
Hey, so Tony doesn't get as much because we know who runs the house, but he's had the privilege to lead soldiers now for the last couple of years. But before we present him with his PCS award and the mayor makes a presentation, I have just a small token. Everybody's familiar. This is the new Fire Center of Excellence toy, and we have sequence number 30 that I'm going to present to Tony today. All right, let's present him with his award.
Attention to orders. The Legion of Merit is being presented to Colonel Tony Dedmond for exceptionally meritorious service from July 2022 to July 2024, while assigned as the commander of the 30th Air Defense Artillery Brigade, United States Army Air Defense Artillery School, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Colonel Dedmond's exemplary service and superior performance are in keeping with the finest traditions of military service and reflect great credit on him, the Fire Center of Excellence, the Combined Arms Center, and the United States Army. This 11th day of July. Signed, Milford H. Beagle, Lieutenant General, USA, Commanding.
So, before I let you talk, I've got
The man.
from Team Lawton Fort Sill, Mayor Stan Booker, sir.
Let's give him a round of applause, yo.
These things are always, we're always proud to give awards and recognize people, but we're always sad to see them go. And we hope that you find opportunities real close to Fort Sill. What I have here for you today is a print of the original that hangs in my office. And the story behind this is that the artist got hurt at Goodyear. He was depressed. So he buys art supplies, and in 4 years it was selling art all over the world. And certainly the top artist in Oklahoma, one of the top in the country. But this is all about bringing the communities together, and what you have done to make that more and more a reality, and we appreciate that. The inscription says, Colonel Tony Dedmond Jr., Arrow 6, 30th Air Defense Artillery Brigade, in appreciation of your service to our country and your community engagement on Lawton Fort Sill, it rises to the highest level of some kind of wonderful.
I appreciate you, sir. All right, sir. The kids are out in the field, so I'll try to keep this short. First thing I want to do is I want to thank all of the Lawton Fort Sill community. As you guys know, we are a connected collective. And every day, whether we're sending soldiers out there to volunteer or they're sending professionals out here to help our soldiers and our families, it is an amazing team. And sir, you're definitely responsible for fostering that over the last time period that you've been here. I want to thank all of my fellow commanders from whether it's brigades, whether it's directorates, whether it's hospitals, whether it's the legal team, the collective group that we had here, just the amount of cooperation that we had, never any animosity, and we'd always go to the boss in a united front to get things accomplished. It's not normal. It doesn't happen everywhere. You guys have been to other theaters. This is a fantastic place, and I appreciate it. And then all my civilians, you guys know how much I love you, appreciate you, and I'll talk about a bunch of people in the speech. But thanks for gathering. Thanks to the Frontier Friends, and thanks to my colleagues. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, this ceremony will begin in 5 minutes.
Oops, sorry about that.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Once I start moving, I'm gonna make it. I think you better.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony begins momentarily. We ask all photographers to remain behind the first row chairs, that all electronic devices are turned off or set to silent mode. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony is about to begin. Please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 30th Air Defense Artillery Brigade Change of Command Ceremony between Colonel Tony Dedmond Jr. and Colonel John Brock II. At this time, we would like to extend a sincere welcome to our distinguished guests. Joining us this morning are Major General Phil Brooks, Commanding General, United States Army Fire Center of Excellence in Fort Sill, his wife Lori, Command Sergeant Major Neil Sartain, Command Sergeant Major, United States Army Fire Center of Excellence in Fort Sill, the Honorable Stan Wilson, Mayor, City of Lawton, Lieutenant General Retired Daniel Carter and his wife Leo, Mr. Joe Gallagher, Deputy Commanding General, United States Army Fire Center of Excellence in Fort Sill, and his wife Luann, Miss Megan Hankins, Southwest Field Representative for Congressman Tom Cole, Colonel Glenn Hankey, Commandant, United States Army Air Defense Artillery School, and Deputy Commanding Officer of the United States Army Fire Center of Excellence in Fort Sill, Colonel Promoter William Parker, Director, Air and Missile Defense Cross-Functional Team, Colonel Michael Bearfield, Chief of Staff, United States Army Fire Center of Excellence in Fort Sill, his wife Carrie, and our frontier friend, Colonel Retired Nate Slade. Thank you for taking time to join us for this very special occasion. For the sequence of events, please refer to your program. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation presented by Chaplain Fisher.
Good morning, and let's pray together. Lord, what a glorious day you have given to us. A day in which to recall the many gifts and blessings of our lives. As we mark this Army tradition and transition, we celebrate the legacy of Colonel Dedmond, his steady servant leadership. May your spirit continue to guide him. We welcome Colonel Brock to the stewardship of leadership and pledge our support and encouragement to this excitement of a glorious season. We pause to thank you for the Dedmond and Brock families. Their dedication to service and faithfulness to the Army is clearly seen. We remember our deployed today. May they and their families be encouraged and inspired in faithfulness to service. We rejoice in our call to serve, and together we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. At this time, Mrs. Laura Armstrong, the Chief of the Fort Sill Artillery Half Section, is presenting a bouquet of flowers to Mrs. Wendy Dedmond in appreciation of her selfless service and support to the Heart of the Branch Brigade and the Lawton Fort Sill community. In keeping with the Fort Sill tradition, Mrs. Dedmond is reciprocating with a gift for the fine horses and soldiers of the Fort Sill Artillery Half Section on behalf of the Heart of the Branch Brigade. Mrs. Armstrong is now presenting a bouquet of flowers to Mrs. Kelly Brock, a flower to his mother, and tokens to his son and daughter, welcoming them to the heart of the Branch Brigade and to the Lawton Fort Sill community. In 1969, the Lawton Fort Sill chapter of the Association of the United States Army, together with business and civic leaders of the local community, purchased the first 8-match bay horses for the formation of a permanent half section. Through the continued support of the Lawton Fort Sill community, the great tradition of horse-drawn artillery will be kept alive for years to come. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the soldiers in formation. The earliest surviving pictorial, sculptured, and written records show musical or quasi-musical instruments employed in connection with military activities or citizens during encampments, parades, and combat. Because the sounds were produced in the open air, the instruments tended to be brass and percussion pipes. Oriental, Egyptian, Greek, Roman, American Indian chronicles, and pictorial remains show trumpets and drums of many varieties allied to soldiers and battles. The Battalion Brigade parades are opened by Adjutant Call. This call has opened parades of the American forces for over 150 years. After some preliminaries, the adjutant directs send off, and the band plays 3 chords. Having sounded off, the band marches in front of the troops, and then counter-marches to its original position. This march across the front of the line is said to have originated with the Crusaders. The troops offered themselves for holy service were drawn up in a long formation in the band counter-march only before those chosen to serve. In American ceremonies, the sound-off has been handed down as a ceremonial tradition. Ladies and gentlemen, your pride of Fort Sill, the 77th United States Army Band. Commander of Troops for today's ceremony is Major Earl Wright. The reviewing party for today's ceremony is Major General Brooks, Colonel Dedmond, and Colonel Brock II. Everyone come to present arms. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of honors to Major General Brooks. Providing today's salute is the Fort Sill Salute Battery, Bravo Battery, 2nd Battalion, 2nd Field Artillery, under the direction of 2nd Lieutenant Joseph Hilliard. Please be seated. The reviewing party, Commander of Troops, will now inspect the command by troop in the line. In days past, troop in the line enabled commanders to personally observe and evaluate both their soldiers and equipment, as well as to judge their capability to engage in combat. This also allowed the soldiers to physically identify their leaders prior to entering into battle. The 30th Air Defense Artillery Brigade in the United States Army Air Defense Artillery School is located at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, Higher Center of Excellence. The unit began training soldiers in January of 2010. The 30th Air Defense Artillery Brigade is currently comprised of a brigade, headquarters battery, and 2 battalions, the 2-6 Air Defense Battalion and 3-6 Air Defense Battalion. The 2-6-88 Battalion is comprised of 3 batteries. Headquarters Alpha Battery, responsible for conducting the following courses: Basic Officer Leader Course, Captain Career Course, and the 140 Kilo and 140 Kilo Warmaster courses. Bravo Battery is responsible for conducting the following courses: Pad courses, main pads, and top gun. Charlie Battery is responsible for conducting the Army Medical Department known as AMO. The 360 battalion is comprised of 3 batteries. Headquarters Alpha Battery is responsible for conducting the following advanced individual training courses: 14 Tango and 14 Echo. Headquarters Alpha is also responsible for the following functional course: Patriot Master Gunner course, and is responsible for the training of Allied foreign military partners on the Patriot weapon systems. Bravo Battery is responsible for conducting the following advanced individual training courses: 14 Golf, 14 Hotel, 14 Papa, and the 14 Sierra National Guard. Bravo is also responsible for the following functional courses: Avenger Master Gunner, and the newly added MSHRED Master Gunner course. The 3-6 Air Missile Defense Test Detachment provides expertise and knowledge supporting air missile defense programs to conduct developmental tests, tactics, and techniques, and procedures for development for all A&D modernization programs. This is the 30th Air Defense Artillery Brigade. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem. Please be seated. The very soul of a military unit is symbolized by the colors under which it trains and fights. From the earliest times, warriors used the banner or other symbol to identify units and to serve as a rally point for troops. After a battle, the unit whose colors remained flying was the victor. Today, the colors with battle streamers attached join our unit formation to signify their presence during past battles. They remind us of the glories of the past, stand guard over the present, and provide inspiration for the future. By authority of Army Regulation 600-20, the undersigned assumes command of the 30th Air Defense Artillery Brigade. Signed, John W. Brock II, Colonel, Air Defense Commander. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding General of the United States Army, Fire Center of Excellence in Fort Sill, Major General Phil Brooks.
All right, well, I'm watching the sun as it goes up here and watching body language. So I'll tell Tony when he needs to make his comments right after I finish here. But, so good morning, everybody. Joe Carver, distinguished guests, Marty, named off all of our people, all from Fort Sill farmers. Thank you for coming today. Before I begin, I want to take a moment and recognize the Fort Sill Field Artillery Half Section, the 77th Army Band, the Salute Battery, and the Color Guard. Please join me in a round of applause. So Sergeant Major Masson, I'd ask you to go ahead and unseat the colors. Okay, thanks. Hey, well, firstly today I'd like to welcome the Brock family. And here today with John, we have his wife Kelly of 22 years, JB, Reagan. We also have the whole extended family. John's mother Sheila, father-in-law, mother-in-law Sherry, brother Tim, his wife Sandy, his son Shane, and Charlene, who have traveled from all over the country. Thanks for joining us here today. Lori and I had the opportunity to serve with Team Brock in a former life at Fort Riley, Kansas. And we're extremely excited to be able to continue to serve with you. So welcome to Long Fort Sill. I'd also like to welcome the Dedmond family. And joining him today is his wife, Lieutenant Colonel retired Wendy Dedmond, of 19 years as an air defender herself, 3 children, and very well-known soccer stars in the Oklahoma City region, Tony, Sebastian, and Mateo. Thanks for coming. Your father, Lieutenant Colonel retired Tony Dedmond, Sr., sir, as I said, great to see you here, and thanks again for your service. And Mother Rhonda, who flew in from Maryland. So thank you all for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, a couple of weeks ago, we had the Destroyer Brigade out here on Polo Field, and I told them this is where the Army begins. Well, today we've got the 30th Air Defense Artillery Brigade standing before us. This is where the Air Defense Artillery begins. This is the heart of the branch. And these fine examples of professionalism turn soldiers into air defenders for our nation every single day. The drill sergeants, cadre, and support staff of the Air Brigade train our newest air defenders and developed our seasoned veterans through their advanced individual training, basic officer leadership, professional development, and functional courses. And not only do they train air defenders, they're also responsible for the Army Medical Department Direct Commissioning Course, designed to equip our future medical officers to perform their duties as soldiers in the Army. The brigade sets the foundation that keeps our skies clear, our critical infrastructure intact, and soldiers, Marines, and sailors of our joint combined forces safe. They train the first to fight. During Tony's tenure, the brigade trained almost 6,000 soldiers, including 1,200 students from 19 other countries. Tony led the brigade through a busy and tumultuous 2 years, and events in Eastern Europe and the SITCOM air responsibility have revitalized how the Joint Force truly sees the air defense. Recent activities have resulted in a surge of international partner training and equipment transfer to support ongoing operations, to include approximately 100 to 200 Ukrainian soldiers and airmen on the Patriot weapon system, who have been critical in the defense of their homeland. Now, 20 your efforts had an immediate and substantial real-world effects and implications. Your team of highly skilled cadre enhanced the capabilities of our international partners, who quickly, in turn, used those skills to defend their own homeland. And working with the 88 Commandant's Office and the Directorate of Training and Development, the brigade has set conditions to incorporate the latest developments of material into their training regime and accessions into their personnel initiatives, such as the 14 uniform and military occupational specialty transition programs. Tony's team supported all of these strategic initiatives on top of the already existing mission requirements. These are just a few of the many achievements the Aero Brigade has accomplished. Sergeant Hassan, the formation looks great out there. I understand the heat. I'm with you. I feel it on my back right now. So let's give the Aero Brigade a well-deserved round of applause for those accomplishments. Now, like so many ceremonies, as I said in the awards, today's another bittersweet one. Today we say farewell to the Dedmonds and their devoted leadership of the brigade as Tony relinquishes command, and we welcome John and the entire Brock family. Tony will be joining the Air Missile Defense cross-functional team as their chief of staff for a few months, as he and Wendy prepare to transition eventually into civilian life. Tony, your experience guiding the air defense for the last 2 years will make you a valuable addition to Colonel Parker and his team. Congratulations. What you and the Air Brigade have done over the last 2 years is simply been incredible. Very simply put, job well done. Lori and I want to thank you, Wendy, and your family for your dedication and tireless efforts over the last 2 years, and we wish you all the best as you assume your new duties at the CFD. Now, shifting. A proud product of Polka, West Virginia, and Marshall University, Colonel John Brock comes to us highly recommended, as well with another resume that speaks for itself. John just left the Pentagon Joint Staff, working in the J5 and Missile Defense Policy Office. And John, as I told Reggie White a couple weeks ago, the same to you. My charge to you is very simple. Take care of your soldiers, your civilians, and your family members under your care. Lead by example and provide the Army with the finest soldiers this country can produce. I have the fullest faith and confidence in you, and I know you'll do an outstanding job, and we're excited to see the Air Brigade's next chapter. Your litany of operational and training assignments has made you the perfect fit for this critical mission. Now, another beautiful day like today calls for a Fires 50, and I'll go with Fires 50 number 16 today, and it reminds us that training is a journey and not a destination. So, John, it's time to get to training. Again, welcome Colonel Brock and family to your new role, and see you tomorrow to the Dedmond family. This would have been Be All You Can Be, first to fire, fire strong. Thanks for joining us today.
Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Tony Dedmond.
I was hoping the mic would be facing the other way when I start crying. So, good morning, everyone. For the record, I'm retiring. My OER is equivalent to toilet paper, so when I say something nice about you, it's legit. I gain nothing, I promise. So first of all, thank you to the leaders responsible for allowing me to command. Battery command, battalion command, deputy command, brigade command. It's just truly humbling. What an outstanding group of professionals I've had the opportunity to lead for the past 20 years. The soldiers before you are a fractional representation of the heart of the branch. We train all comers, all cohorts, reclasses, all components, all medical specialties, from neurosurgeons to veterinarians. We train 50-year-old systems like Patriot, all the way to 5-year-old systems like the recently named Sergeant Stout. We train from mud to space, and the officers, NCOs, junior soldiers, civilians, and their families have been amazing. Not just for the time I was in command, but throughout my whole career. My wife's platoon sergeant, from when she was a butter bar, is a member of our cadre. My brigade equal opportunity non-commissioned officer, from when I was a first lieutenant, was my deputy for the past 2 years. My private first class guidon bearer from 2 decades ago in Bravo 57, when I was battery commander, is a CW3 on platform right now, teaching the next generation of warrants. I can go on for literally hours on the intertwined paths of mentorship, hardship, leadership, comic relief, accomplished missions, embarrassing gaffes, successful deployments, eye-stabbing meetings, late-night searches for sensitive items in foreign lands. You name it, we've lived it together. The formation that stands before us on the polo field today represents a group of professionals that can be trusted with any mission, that can be trusted with America's sons and daughters, and the fact that I've had the opportunity to lead these superstars for the past 2 years is mind-boggling. It's more than I deserve. I want to thank a few people, and then I'll get out of your hair. To the FCO leadership, Major General Brooks, Command Sergeant Major Sartain, Mr. Gallagher, Colette Dunbar, and Amy Brennan, to the whole front office, the aide de camps, the secretaries and general staffs, the CPGs and the execs, you guys do amazing work, and thanks for saving my bacon on more than one occasion despite my calendar handlers attempting to stitch me up. To my battalion commanders, Seth, JP, and just recently Todd, you guys are the future, and your dedication and expertise did not go unrecognized or unappreciated. I may be in Fort Living Room, but I'm always a phone call or email away if you want me to give you charitable advice or infeasible course of action. To my Iron Majors past and present, I truly expect big things from you, and the e-invite to your battalion, brigade, and ACM change of command and change of charge ceremonies. To my staff, the battalion staffs, the drill sergeants, the instructors, and all the battery command teams, thank you for your efforts. You guys killed it every day. You did more with less every day, despite the continuous loss of resources. You guys are miracle workers. To my battles, Command Sergeant Major Calvo and my new BFF, Command Sergeant Major Watson, thank you both for your professionalism, for your dedication to the creed of the non-commissioned officer, and for never wavering on the standards that we uphold in all things, from barracks to the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Also, thanks for showing me that loving your spouse forever and ever isn't a crazy idea. So Juan and Shauna, love you guys too. To my civilians, now I do not mean to step on toes, and I know I shouldn't say in mixed company, but I'm sorry. 30-88 civilian workforce is the best to ever do. I've been in the Pentagon, I've been in combatant commands, I've been in Army Air Missile Defense Commands, Indo-PACOM, UCOM Trade-Op, but no collective group of civilians holds a candle to the group that we have in 3888. We can find out back if you think differently. They are not a reflection of me. They are a reflection of Mr. Christopher Hay. They operate like a family. They rally in good times and bad to support one another, and they are dedicated to soldiers in the Army as if they never left them. Please give a round of applause to our Army civilians. To my parents, everyone knows by now, my father is my mentor and my mother keeps me grounded. I have both made them immeasurably proud and from time to time shamed them immensely for the past 49 years. And they have always provided unconditional love and support. Thank you for always being there, and I'm confident that you didn't think I'd still be in the Army game this many years after shocking you by joining the junior ROTC back in 9th grade. Well, the Army's a team sport, and I love team sports. To my kiddos, Sebastian Mateo, Poppy is about to destroy you 1v1 in the backyard. Right after I take him out. You guys are the best little kids that your mom and I could ask for. Mateo lived in the United States for a total of 6 weeks before I took command this time. He's lived in Daegu, South Korea, and both Stuttgart and Kaiserslautern in Germany. Sebastian and Mateo were both fluent in German, and Sebastian was fluent in Korean. having always been in local schools on the economy. They, like most Army brats, have sacrificed the normality of growing up with the same group of friends, at the same schools, in proximity to their cousins and grandparents, and they have thrived everywhere we've gone. So my son Tony, who was born in Germany, moved 9 times in 18 years, who was forced to play at Leapster with headphones while sitting on the floor under my seat in my command and general staff college classroom while his mom was downrange and it was just the 2 of us with no daycare slots. He's been affected the most by my Army endeavors, and he is the most mature, thoughtful, well-mannered, and naturally talented in so many areas that I can't even understand where he gleans it sometimes. He's on his way to Virginia Tech to join the Corps Cadets in the next 5 weeks or so. His mom and I are both going to be a puddle of tears, but they will be prideful tears as he tries to blaze a path of his own in life. Tony, I hope that the adventures we put you through serve you well for decades to come. And lastly, to my better 90% and the most talented Dedmond that the Army Officer Corps has ever seen. She's a few years younger than me, but she was the first of us to get her TS SCI. She was the first to reach 4-star regular at the Pentagon in the Army J2. She was the first to be a primary on a 2-star general staff as the G2 for 21st TSC. She earned a combat action badge, serving in both Iraq and Afghanistan with 5th Group and JSOC, respectively. My wife is a badass. Know this though, I stay in trouble at home. She doesn't care if I'm commander of this or in charge of that. All she knows is that the living room is disorganized and I better be in charge of the team of boys that I just keep praise on to get it looking right, or there is going to be hell to pay. She's working on her doctorate now. Yes, beauty, brains, and badassery. For 21 years, she's put up with my nonsense, sacrificed her career, and raised these boys with a dedication and devotion that I didn't think was possible, while doing all she's done in the Army. Baby Bird, I know this always, even when my words don't match it. You are the most amazing person I've ever encountered, and I'm not worthy to be able to call you my wife. I'm going to do my best to bother you every damn day when I'm home and retired to remind you that I love you. Now, John, you are now the luckiest man on Fort Sill. I wish you and your family the best of luck and the happiest of times, learning and growing from this group of professionals. Just know that 2 years goes too fast. Enjoy every day. Be all you can be. Fire strong. First to fire, heart of the branch, Guardian 6, signing out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the 30th Air Defense Artillery Brigade, Colonel John Brock II.
Good morning, distinguished guests, friends and family of the 30th Air Defense Artillery Brigade. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to attend today's change of command ceremony. My name is John Brock, and I'm proud to be the first and newest member of Team Lawton Fort Sill. Major General Brooks, thank you for the kind words and opportunity to command this brigade. It's an absolute honor and privilege to command the 30th Air Defense Artillery Brigade, the heart of the branch, and home to every air defender and Army medical officer. Colonel Mrs. Dedmond, my family and I would like to thank you for throughout this transition, for your warm welcome and your friendship. It means so much. Tony, your outstanding leadership of this brigade, in this branch, and in this Army will never be forgotten. Job well done. Thank you so much. I look forward to reaching out to you for advice when I need it. I'd also like to give a special thanks to my wife Kelly, my son JB, my daughter Reagan, my mom, Jim, Cherry, Tim, Sandy, Shane, and Charlene, the big family showing that came all throughout the country to be here and celebrate this day with me. So I can't thank you enough for your support. It means the world to me. And finally, to the soldiers of this brigade sent in formation today. You look amazing, and I am humbled to be a part of this team and serve with you the next 2 years. All policies and procedures remain in effect. Fire strong, first to fire, always on target.
Pass and review.
Commander of Troops, three-day ceremonies in Major Right. The Pride of Fort Sill, the 77th United States Army Band, under the direction of Staff Sergeant Boyd, the drum major, Sergeant Dedmond. Headquarters Battery, 38 Air Defense Artillery Brigade, commanded by Captain Dedmond. The battery works on our second class backfire. The second battalion, 6th Air Defense Artillery, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Peterson. The battalion sergeant major, Command Sergeant Major Reyes. The 2nd Battalion, 6th Air Defense Artillery, Headquarters Alpha Battery, commanded by Captain Blanco. The first sergeant is First Sergeant Owens. The 2nd Battalion, 6th Air Defense Artillery, Bravo Battery, commanded by Captain Brickle. The first sergeant is First Sergeant Pace. The 2nd Battalion, 6th Air Defense Artillery, Charlie Battery, commanded by Captain Gillette. The first sergeant is First Sergeant South. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to the national color. The 30th Air Defense Artillery Brigade color guard is under the direction of the Brigade Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Ronald Watson. The 3rd Battalion, 6th Air Defense Artillery, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Stevenson, the Battalion Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Hill. The 3rd Battalion, 6th Air Defense Artillery, Headquarters Alpha Battery, commanded by Captain Ty, the Battery First First Sergeant Peter. The 3rd Battalion, 6th Air Defense Artillery, Bravo Battery, commanded by Captain Shields, the Battery First Sergeant First Sergeant Gibson. Air Missile Defense Test Attachment, commanded by Captain Norton. the Army song. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Colonel and Mrs. Dedmond will receive farewells in front of the seating area. Colonel and Mrs. Brock will host a reception at the Air Defense Artillery Association immediately following the ceremony. Thank you for attending. Heart of the Branch, be all